Alright, this is just a recap about the recrowning that I'm doing here. After I leveled the frets and I've got a good even level across all the frets, I will start recrowning using this diamond coated crowning file here. And this right here is 150 grit. And the file itself has a thick and a thin side, and depending on how flat the fret tops are, I will lay it across the edge of the fretboard here, and I will figure out which side of the crowning file that I might start out with. And if the fret top is quite flat, I might start out using the thick side, then switch to the thin side in order to finish off the recrowning. And this is a matter of going back and forth, constantly watching your progress as you go along. And after doing a few swipes, I will take the neck up so I can look at it from another angle, maybe in a better lighting. And I'll be able to see from the fret tops how much I have removed and how much of a line there's still left on the fret. And I see people blue or darken up their fret tops after leveling, and I tend to do that as well, but I've found that if you have a good lighting and a good crowning file and you keep watching your progress and getting the neck up in the air in different lighting, you'll be able to see that flat top of just the metal. You'll be able to see that much better and get a better understanding of how much you need to remove, because darkening up or bluing up can be just as good, but I find that generally the crowning files will remove that Sharpie a lot quicker, and not having rounded that fret over probably enough before you go on to the next fret. And I'll have a shot of that a little close up later, so you'll be able to see how much of a thin line we're going for on the fret tops in order for us to move on to the next fret, and in order for us to have a good playing area for the string to contact when we're fretting the neck here. And if it's too wide, we might run into intonation problems, and we just want the string to catch a tiny thin sliver of contact point on each of the frets. And that is what the recrowning should do for us. Alright, just to give you a quick close-up here regarding how much fret material you need to leave when you're recrowning. You need to leave a tiny thin sliver, and if I zoom in here you should be able to see that now in the reflection here. That right there is how much of a sliver you should have left on your fret. You could perhaps go a little wider, but the tinier the better, because you want the string to have not a wide contact area for it to ring against when you're fretting. You want it to have a nice little tiny sliver right there. And as you can see, that's pretty good, because this one goes across evenly, and we haven't removed too much and we haven't removed too little. So this right here is looking really good, and I just wanted to give you that close-up because this is what you should be shooting after when you're doing this. And you have to take your time, go back, recrown a little, check how much you have removed, and then get the neck up in a good lighting so you can see how much you still have to recrown, or just to watch your overall progress as you go along. So I hope this right here sums it up. Alright, so I've zoomed in on this fret right here because this is the next fret that I'm going to recrown. And if I go in a little closer here, you should be able to see how much material I've taken off of this. So if you go in a little further here without it blurring out, you will see that this right here is actually not as flat as some of the others that I recrowned yesterday. So for this right here, I know that I probably need to take off less material. So for this one, I might not start out with the thick side of the file here. I might start with the thin side and see how that attacks the flat spot here in order for me to recrown the fret just perfectly. So if I start right here with the thin side here, I hope you'll be able to see it, otherwise I'll have a short little video in between this. But if I take a few strokes here, I will go down and sight the neck in order to see how much I have removed. And I can see there's still quite a wide line on the fret. So I will go a bit more here. And this time check it again. Okay, so I can see the line is getting thinner. Let me do a few more strokes and I'll zoom in for you, and you should be able to see it as well. Okay, so we're right here. If I get you in here, just dust it off here. You should see from previous that this line right here has gotten a lot thinner. And if I go down and sight the neck again here, I can actually see that if I just do 1 or 2 strokes on the top here, that line is pretty close to being perfect now. And that line right there is all that we're after.